What's good, Commanders fans? Got my Elite Channel members with me tonight. Got my guy Warpath. Make sure you guys sub him up. He does Commanders content. He's got the fresh background now. Check out my guy Brandon Scott. Check him out. His YouTube channel. Both their YouTube channel links are down below. The links are down below. Make sure you guys check him out. Kenny Man, he's not going to be able to make it tonight. Oscar's not going to be able to make it tonight. OG is on CP time tonight, so we'll see if he can make it in tonight. But big announcement, Brandon is going to be my co-host on Locked On Wizards. The YouTube channel link is down below. You can listen wherever you can get a podcast. You can listen to that too. So we're going to be doing Locked On Wizards content all year, all the games, transactions, whatever happens. Make sure you guys subscribe to us on YouTube. So it should be a lot of fun. So we're going to start off with the comments here. DC Hustler says, shaking my head at Washington Commanders. So, okay, you're probably shaking your head about the signing that they made today. G-Man says, we in here. Brian Harding, channel member, what's up, man? He says, hit up those likes on the way in. Eddie Boy says, how many wins we getting? Brent Collins, channel member, what's up, man? Man, we got some interesting defensive backs. I wonder if Robinson is playing week 1. And also, are we training for a middle linebacker or good with what we have, people? So, knowing Ron, he's probably set with what he did today. He's probably set with what he did today. So we'll talk about that later. But so let's start off with the running back room. Some of the transactions they made with the 53-man roster, the initial roster. So what do you guys thoughts about the running back room? You know, it's John Williams, Brian Robinson. They put him on the roster. Antonio Gibson, Jaden McKissick. What were you guys thoughts about the running back room? And then also just the craziness and the thank God, with the good luck for Brian Robinson that the bullet went through his knee, but it didn't hit any tendons or any ligaments. Brandon, I'll let you go first.
Oh, yes, sir. I think we're in good shape. I didn't like them getting rid of Jared Patterson. I was a big fan of Jared Patterson. Little guy. I thought that from what he showed last year and with the preseason, he should have earned a spot. That's just my opinion. Brian Robinson, very unfortunate. Like you said, it's a blessing that the bullet went through the knee, didn't do any major damage, and the fact that they didn't put him on the PUP list is a good sign that he might be back sooner than later. And then you got Antonio Gibson. He's the man now. So, if he can work on the fumbling, we should be able to hit the ground running. And then with Williams, he's a good running back, but like I said, I prefer Jared Patterson. So, and then my man JD. Hey, JD, third down back, receiving back, showed out last year. So I think we're in pretty good shape with the running back situation. Obviously with what happened with Brian Robinson, the depth's taking a tiny bit of a hit, but that's one area that I don't have a problem with when it comes to the team. So
definitely, yeah. Thank goodness we got Jared Patterson back on the roster on the practice squad. We brought him back. So John Williams, they just think he runs similar to what Brian Robinson does. But Brian Robinson in good spirits, came in with some Oreo cookies the other day, came into the facility, did his rookie duties. How about you, Warpath?
Yeah, man. I think I was kind of with the rest of everybody. Like I thought it was interesting that you put 28-year-old Jonathan Williams on the initial, right? They didn't say the final 53-man. They said the initial. And I thought Jared Patterson outplayed him clearly in that Baltimore game, right? I know it was against the 2s and 3s, but I thought he played well. I thought he played good enough to get on the active roster, but we don't get paid to make those decisions. JD McKissick, we haven't seen much of him in the preseason, but hopefully he's healthy. Haven't seen him since his injury against Seattle, where that was a scary injury. So hopefully he can get back to what he was doing. And then, Sir Fumbleitis himself. I mean, I don't know how this man has a child and can hold it at night and he not dropping it. So I mean, he needs to be holding a football every single day. He needs to be like that kid who had the teddy bear in school and was holding the teddy bear all like that. He needs to have football in his hand all time at the command center in Ashburn, because time is patience is growing thin with him. There's no doubt in the talent, but he's not a runner. He's not a full-time carried running back. That's just not what he is. And he's never been a featured guy. You go back to his junior college days, and even at Memphis, he's not averaging like all these ungodly numbers that you would think a feature back should have, right?
Yeah.
But we're probably gonna see him week 1 against Jacksonville, and then whoever, and then Brian Robinson, man, that's so unfortunate. Thank God the dude is okay. That was first in my mind. Like, I went back to Sean Taylor. Like that's what, when I heard he got shot, I was like, oh my God, like what is going on? And we can get into semantics about it and everything like that, but I mean, it's good that he was able to get in there, get back to the park. It looked like he was just bandaged up pretty well after he had surgery and everything. So hopefully we see him on the field this year. But at the end of the day, that's not the most important thing. Is we didn't lose somebody. We didn't lose a lost life in that, and that's the most important thing. And just to see Randy Jordan's face yesterday, like, I'm saving that video for even on my worst days, because that was an uplifting video that I saw yesterday from the Commanders. But yeah, the running back room, man, I think we're gonna be good either way, and I think we'll see Jared sooner than later.
Yeah, I like our running back core. I think it's a deep core. You got JD, who's a great third down back. Gibson, with all the fumbles and all, we know how talented he is. They just have to use him correctly as a wide receiver too. If B-Rob was healthy and there, he would be in his correct spot. So I don't know if he's going to be a kick returner now, because you don't want to put your starting running back there returning kicks and risking him for injury or punt returns or anything like that. Brian Robinson, it's just crazy. I mean, the reports are that he was trying to wrestle away the gun and defend himself too. So it's just crazy. I mean, the kids, it can happen everywhere. Carjackings happen everywhere, but it's a problem in DC. And I brought that up in my video. Kids in DC, man, they're ruthless. They're ruthless. Like right now, there's a trend where they're putting USBs and Kias and Hyundais, and they're stealing the cars. Literally, they're stealing the cars and just running off. And they did this in broad daylight on 8th Street. It's not like it's a bad neighborhood, so they did this in broad daylight. They probably didn't know who Brian Robinson was, over a Hellcat. It's just ridiculous. But, thank goodness he's alive. And the crazy thing is they put him on the 53-man roster. So it looks like Ron thinks that he can come back sometime this year or sometime even before the first 4 games of the season. But, of course, it's the last thing realistically, thinking about his life. That's the last thing on our minds right now. But yeah, that was some good points you guys brought up about the running back room. So let's look at the quarterback room. Of course, that was cut and dry. Carson Wentz, the starter. Taylor Heinicke, number 2. Sam Howell, number 3. What did you guys think about Sam Howell's performance in the preseason? How would you give it a grade? And what do you think his future timeline would be with the Washington Commanders? If you had to guess, when do you think he would be a starter? Because there's some people who think he might start sooner than later. Brandon, I'll let you go first.
I would grade him a B+, and the reason I didn't give him an A, to be honest with you, is because clearly they didn't have chemistry. So it's preseason, but I mean, you can't. I mean, look at the poise in the pocket. I mean, his decision making. He didn't look like a rookie. He looked like a guy who's been in the league a couple of years, and I was big on the guy in the draft because I like what I saw at North Carolina. So to me, really, how fast he becomes a starter really depends on Wentz. The funny thing is, because if Wentz has a bad year, we could see him next year or the year after that. So really depends on Wentz. And if Wentz comes in and plays well, and then decide to go forward with the contract next couple of years, then he can sit and learn, and that's really my preference. But Sam Howell, man, he impressed me. Matter of fact, he's probably the most impressive player I saw on the team in the preseason.
He really was. I mean, the defense was pretty bad on third downs, and they were pretty bad in general, to be honest. But Sam did his thing, man, and his receivers didn't help him out. I mean, I'm disappointed in this guy Diony, because if Diony would have caught 1 or 2 of those passes, Sam probably would have threw a touchdown or boosted his yard, and he led all rookies in passing yards, which I know he played more snaps than some other rookies, but still, Sam Miami looked good out there. How about you, Warpath?
Yeah, I think I give him a B+, A- maybe. I thought that he looked the part, and granted, he's going against 2s and 3s, but he did look comfortable out there. And that's a lot of the Sam Howell that you saw at North Carolina. Like, they didn't look like there was too much drop off. You got a guy who's fearless back there, who's not afraid to take a hit, who can get out of trouble, who's got his eyes downfield. And then, apparently Diony Brown's still going through puberty because the ball's still dropping all the time when it gets to him. So, that was disappointing there. And then, but overall, Sam Howell, I think he looks good, but I would temper expectations for him, because one thing we get, like, we are so damn thirsty for a franchise savior. Like, we are so thirsty for one. Do not ruin this guy because of it. Like, don't force him. Let him grow. Let him marinate. If it takes a year, if it takes a year and a half, just let him learn. Like, I think the best thing for Sam Howell this year is for him never to see the field. Like that, I think that it will be key to his development. Just let him go through the mental reps, let him prep, let him run scout team. And, if Carson's not here next year, then let him run. Then give him an opportunity to run this year, next year, because Carson's contract can be cut after this year. Taylor's on the last year of his 2-year extension. So there's going to be opportunity for Sam in 2023.
Oh, most certainly. Yeah. I mean, I like the way he was able to evade the rush and the escapability, the mobility, the pump fake pass and go. He's got that down. So he's got some tricks up his sleeve. He's got that moxie. He's got some swag to him. So I think he learned a lot of that in North Carolina when his guys left. A lot of his receivers left. He had to do things on his own. He had to run. He's got some wheels to him. So I'm intrigued by Sam. But I mean, like you said, Warpath, I think it would be good for him to develop and sit this year. It was against 2s and 3s. We've seen guys play really well, against backups as rookies. Rest in peace, Colt Brennan. So I don't want to get too hyped from the preseason. Colt Brennan was an awesome quarterback in the preseason, but it never really panned out. Rest in peace to Colt Brennan. Was a great player at Hawaii University. But I'm gonna get to a couple of these comments here. So Brian Harding says Kevlar BR. Somebody called Brian Robinson 50 Cent. Bulletproof Brian Robinson. Door Gunners, he's a channel member as well. Shout out to him. Abel Ambrosio was good. Reggie Reg, my guy, what's going on? We got our first donation of the night, so I'm gonna read that real quick. Tone Ho's in the chat too. I see him. Bobby Scarfo, what's up, man? Uptown Dre is a new channel member. Welcome to the squad, man. I appreciate you for that. Somebody else said DC is tough. Going to the opener, Door Gunner. I'm not going to the opener. I will not be going to the opener. I might. One of my buddies did hit me up about going. I might go.
You better go.
I'm
gonna be there. I'm going
I'll be there, man.
again.
Okay.
We got to run it back, man. We got to run it back.
Yeah, we do, man. We do. Kevin McCurdy, thank you for the first donation of the night. He says, Ed, the truth, Oliver, what are you most excited about week 1? Brandon, I'll let you go first.
I don't know if it's excitement or just because with everything going on, look, Jacksonville, man, I don't think they're going to be a pushover, man. I mean, look, Christian Kirk, Lawrence, he's going to take that step forward. I mean, I think the game is going to be a little closer than we thought it was going to be, because like I said, Jacksonville's not a scrub, man. I mean, they're a nice young team. They're going to test us. I think that, a couple months ago, you looked at Jacksonville and you looked at Detroit and you could have said, all right, easy, 2-0. But not anymore. I mean, you look at both of these teams, even with Detroit, Jared Goff is not a scrub. I mean, he's had his struggles, but, you got Swift running back. You got, come on. I mean, so I think it's not so much excitement. It's kind of like, a measuring stick game because, we could easily go 2-0, but we could easily go 0-2, easy. So my excitement would be, can Antonio Brown, or not Antonio Brown, wow. Antonio Gibson, can Antonio Gibson, take that L and prosper? Can he take that demotion, step back up in the running back job and actually, how's he react to it? So that's what I'm excited about. How does he respond? And and another thing I'm excited about is how the offense is going to click. Look, I'm excited about this wide receiver group. I mean, Jahan Dotson has impressed me. We already know what Mclaurin can do, man. I mean, he's already the truth. I mean, Curtis Samuel looks healthy. If they could put him in a slot. I mean, Diony Brown, we'll see about him. But, Cam Sims is back. I mean, So I'm excited. I mean, really, the biggest thing I'm excited about is the wide receiver group. How, you know, where do they play everybody? Do they play Dotson opposite of Terry? Do they put Samuel in, you know, in a slot? So you know, that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, you definitely stole mine. But yeah, we're not going to talk about Antonio Brown, the rapper, but you definitely stole mine with the wide receiver core for sure. How about you, Warpath?
Yeah, man, I'm just excited to get back out on the field. I'm just really excited to see them with real live bullets again. Probably poor choice of words, but I would, yeah, I'm excited to see our guys rocking and rolling again. And, you know, kind of to Brandon's point, you know, Jaguars aren't going to be a pushover in either lines, but you shouldn't have that attitude going into in the fans. We shouldn't have that attitude going into the game. I'm still some of my boy Doc Walker's thunder. You were a 7-10 team last year. You were a losing team going up against 2 losing teams from last year. You are the company you keep, which means we're very similar to the Browns, the Jaguars, the Lions, the Raiders at times, right? That's who we are similar to over the last 15, 20 years. So we shouldn't be taking these cats. Anybody who's taking these cats lightly, you're out of your mind, because we know that the teams that we think we should beat, we always wind up losing against. Hello, don't y'all remember when we got swept by the Giants in back-to-back seasons, and they were the worst team in the division? I think there was one year we only they won 4 games and 2 of them was against us. Come on, family. Let's be real. Let's be real about it. But I'm excited to see our cats out there again, man. And I want to see what Carson can do. Can Carson put the cocaine hatred of Booger Sugar Irsay back in the back pocket and go out there and sling the rock and play for this team and go out and remind us of Philadelphia, those days in Philadelphia, like when he came there in week 1 and lit us up like a Christmas tree. Let's do it again, man. I want to see Carson. I want to see his rock and roll. God knows his defense is going to be like, Lord have mercy. It's going to be like my water bill last year, $140 because I had a bad leak up in there. That's exactly what that defense is going to be, and we want to get that bill adjusted. Hopefully, shout out Jon Bostic.
Right. Yeah, we'll get to Bostic. But yeah, I mean, like you said with Wentz, you know, Scott Abraham said, you know, Philly didn't want you. Indy didn't want you. So, you know, can he bounce back against the naysayers and the people? You know, Carson's one of the most hated quarterbacks right now. Like, I forgot what website it was, but they ranked him as the 28th ranked quarterback. Like, Carson is not that bad. Carson arguably is a top 15, top 20 quarterback at times. Carson, you know, with Philly, not too long ago in 2019, he took a team that was 5-6 and led them to be 9-7, make the playoffs and win the NFC East that year. So Carson has had some really good years under his belt. There's definitely some up and down times, but I am looking forward to the wide receiver core. Curtis Samuel, you know, how many games is he going to play? Can he step up? He's a huge X factor for us. Terry McLaurin, after signing that contract, I want to see him dominate. You know, he got snubbed in the NFL top 100. He certainly should be there. He should have been there last year, in my opinion. Jahan Dotson, we've heard a lot of hype about him. There's been rumors that, you know, he's just as good as Terry. Some of the players think he's better than Terry. So that's crazy talk. So I want to see that. Same thing with Cam Sims. I'm excited to see Cam Sims. Diony, can he step up and catch a pass? You know, he's been looking, you know, he's had hands like a snake out there. So I want to see the wide receiver core. I was really excited to see Brian Robinson. He still might play, but after watching him in the preseason, I was really hyped to see him, how hard he was running. So that's one of the things I'm excited to see. For sure. And I want to see Chase Young bounce back. I'm saying like 10 things, but I do want to see Chase Young bounce back. There's a lot of naysayers about him going down last year, had an underwhelming season. How can he bounce back? Can he get back to that rookie season form? So I'm looking for a lot of things like that. But yeah, Carson Wentz, he's got a chip on the shoulder, man. He's got a revenge game against Jacksonville. They lost to the Jaguars last year, you know, in that last game of the season. A lot of the blame went on him. So he's got to step up in that game. But yeah, Jacksonville, they're no slouch. Christian Kirk, Trevor Lawrence, they got Zay Jones, they got Brandon Sheriff, we got to beat him, Doug Peterson. So there's a lot of familiar faces in that Jaguars game. But we're definitely let's get to the Bostic news because a lot of comments. I'm gonna read all the Bostic comments real quick. Mikey Bomber says Bostic terrible. Football fan 7771 says now Mayo ain't the worst linebacker on the team, but it's close. So David Mayo actually got released. If you guys didn't know, that's the transaction. So today the Commanders, they claimed 2 corners. One guy is Tyreek I'm blank on his last
Castro
name.
something. He went to Riverdale, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to Riverdale Baptist
yeah.
in PG County. Yeah,
Yeah,
something's in the
yeah,
water.
wow.
And then there's a lot of comments saying that 8th Street isn't too far from the Trap or the Hood. So, I haven't been around there for a long time. I've been around U Street sometimes, but I haven't been around 8th Street. So you guys know better than me. So a lot of people saying it's not too far from Benning Road and whatnot. So that's where the shooting was, unfortunately. But so I'm gonna read some more. Not David Mayo, but Bostic. So basically, everybody's saying Bostic is terrible. I think everybody, for the most part, is saying that. But I just want to get you guys' thoughts on the linebacker room right now. The only people on the roster, we only got 3 guys on the roster. It's Jon Bostic, Cole Holcomb, and Jamin Davis on the roster right now. And now it's going to be Jon Bostic. So we got 4 linebackers. We're pretty thin at this spot. So Warpath, I just want to get your thoughts on that. Do you see them adding anybody? Do you think they should try to bring in a Landon Collins? Also, in this question too, I see some comments about Ron Rivera and just the way he moves. Because he's a very predictable guy. Either he's going to get a commander or he's going to get somebody that he's familiar with. He doesn't like to take swings in bringing people in. So I just want to think in the Martys, I'll group them in there too. I'm not going to let the Martys off the hook too. Martin Mayhew and Marty Herney. So I just want to get your thoughts on that, Warpath.
Yeah, you don't want me. You don't want my real thoughts on this because
no, go ahead, man.
They'll shut your stream down. So I got to church it up a little bit. I got to. Help me, Jesus. Let me focus. I told y'all before we even got on here. This is like you're getting a cut, right? You get a cut and you need a Band-Aid, and you go to the trash can and you reuse it. You reuse some unknown a Band-Aid that you had 3 days ago. That's got the brown blood spot on everything, and we're just trying to put it over on the patchwork. I don't know, like, what in the world? And y'all know, and Eddie, you do this. I was a Boston guy a couple years ago. I thought he made some big plays in 2020. The Boston that I like, there's no excuse in this, and it's still the unpreparedness of Ron and them to go out there and do what's right. They know what the problem is. You were an effing NFL linebacker for a decade. And then MAGA Jack was one for about 13 years. Y'all can't find a way to find a functional linebacker to come in here and run the damn defense. We should not be talking less than 2 weeks from the season, and we don't know who in the hell is going to be the quarterback of the defense. We don't know. You bet one of your best defensive players is in a damn sling right now. So you didn't prep for that. You brought 4 corners. You carried over 4 corners on a 53-man roster, and you're running 3 corners. And then you had to go pick up somebody's trash. And then here's another thing, right, too. My boy Linnell Willingham said this, too. Look, no commander was picked up off of waivers. That's a effing problem. That is a huge problem. That nobody wants your garbage. People that could be improved. Oh, let's see what Washington got. They ain't got nobody. Hell, does Mike Singletary still got? Can he come back and play for us? I think he'd be better than Jon Bostic. This is ridiculous, man. I don't know what they're doing. Can we get Jeremiah Trotter, Jesse Armstead, or something to come back here?
Antonio Pierce, yeah. Take him to church.
Yeah, Lamar Marshall, let's get him back. London Fletcher, you want to come out the radio booth? Run plays for us. This is like that. This is bad. You mean only thing you did, you just sat on your hands and crapped. You literally crapped in your hands the whole offseason. And all you got to show for it is you got a better offense, but you're a defensive-minded coach, but you can't get any better. Like your second and third levels, which are probably the most important parts, right? Because in this passing league, if we want to be honest, right? You need a linebacker. You have average corners, but you need linebacker, and you have below average linebacker play. It sucks, man. What the are we doing? I haven't bleeped my own self out about that. Okay, I give the rest of my time.
Yeah. Take him to church, man. And the thing is, he talked about communication. Jack Del Rio, blamed the bad defense, giving up Hail Marys against the Saints, giving up the wide open pass to Cordell Patterson, Darius Slayton wide open, Kenny Galladay wide open. on communication OTAs, and then they released 2 guys, and it's concerning that Danny Johnson and DeJuan Neal, they were supposed to be your 4th and 5th corner, and then they pick up these 2 rookies. I don't know. They still need to sign corners, in my opinion. They still need to sign corners.
You said DeJuan.
DeJuan Neal, Danny Johnson, Christian Holmes was getting cooked too by DeMarcus Robinson.
Yep.
High stepping to the end zone. High stepping. Was wide open against Danny Johnson. But yeah, it's concerning. Jon Bostic. And then Cameron Curl, like you said, I forgot to say that earlier. Cameron Curl was in a sling today. We don't know how severe the injury is, but that is concerning. If he can't go week 1, it's Bobby McCain, and then behind him, I get Jeremy Reeves has to step up. I do like Jeremy Reeves, but we do need Cam Curl. We don't have a lot of depth at all. But how about you, Brandon? Oh, and then also, how about you already talked about Ron's ways. We'll get to Landon Collins in a second, but how about you, Brandon?
Hey man, Warpath is on point, man. I mean, it's a head scratcher. I mean, gifted the free agent market was kind of sorry, but come on, man. I mean, come on. I mean, dude has already showed he can't do it. I mean, in the run he's decent, but I mean, all I gotta do is pass. I mean, he's terrible in pass coverage. I mean, terrible. I mean, you're talking about middle linebacker, man. I mean, middle linebacker is a quarterback of the defense. So, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the move. When I saw it happen, I just shook my head. So I don't know what they're trying to do. I mean, we need a middle linebacker. I'm not one of the people that think that Cole Holcomb can step in. I think it's gonna be a disaster. I think he's best on the outside. I think Jamin's best on the outside. I think that if they are serious about this defense being good next year, they need to go out and get a middle linebacker. Because without it, that's the big reason why communication was poor last year. I mean, you brought up the Saints Hail Mary, and I was there for that one. And I mean, the whole stadium, it was like, wow, because you had a whole defense that didn't even put their arms up. I mean, the communication was terrible. And then it starts from leadership on the defense. If you don't have leadership, if you don't have that QB on the defense, communication is going to continue to be a problem, and we're going to see the same issues we did last year. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, and even in that game, they let Jameis Winston look like an all-pro in that game. But Ron, as a personnel guy, he's the head of the snake. He's the head of the strings. I mean, he is the coach. GM is a coach-centric organization. He makes all these moves. He either gets a commander or somebody that he's familiar with. He does not step out of the box. I mean, William Jackson, he signed him. There are some other free agents, but for the most part, that's what he does. He's so predictable. I knew they were going to sign Jon Bostic. They probably will sign AJ Klein too. But Ron, being a former linebacker, same thing with Jack Del Rio. This is what they like to do. They're way behind the 8 ball. This is where I can see Ron not being here next year by just being old, not taking any swings, these old school moves. That's what Ron likes to do. That's what he likes to do. But Warpath, would you go after Landon Collins? He is available.
Why not? Nobody else wanted him.
How about you, Brandon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, same. I mean, the position he played last year was, the hybrid linebacker position. He did well. So, he showed that he can contribute. So, I mean, why not? At this point, why not? So,
yeah, I think Warpath. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Did you have anything else to say?
No. I just said that I'm still mad about the whole this defense. It's just,
Yeah, the third down defense. The third down defense is definitely not a dust up. It's not a dust up, and it looked bad in preseason. A lot of people were saying, it's just preseason, but I can't say it's just preseason because this is what we saw in the regular season. They were the worst team defensively on third down. They couldn't get off the field on third downs. It would be 3rd and 15, and Justin Herbert would still find a way to convert on 3rd and 15. Matt Ryan, every quarterback we went against, they found ways to convert on 3rd and 15. Now, the 4-game win streak, the defense looked promising. That was when Landon Collins was at that Buffalo nickel position. I wouldn't mind bringing him back, honestly, because we don't have a lot of playmakers on defense. We don't have a lot of guys that force turnovers. And one thing that Landon was doing towards the end of the year, he actually was forcing turnovers. The punch out against the Seahawks. I know the Eagles game, he forced 2 turnovers, kind of. They kind of fell in his lap, like Dallas Goedert kicked off his foot and then Landon got it. But there's guys out there that are dropping the easy ones, like Bobby McCain is dropping easy interceptions, and we need guys to make plays. I don't see a lot of people on the field out there making plays or forcing turnovers. And we need to do that. And he's one of the guys that was able to do that. So I wouldn't mind bringing him back on a cheap deal because nobody's really calling for him right now. So it probably would be a team-friendly deal right now. So, Ready Red, he's trolling. He made a question. He said, will y'all beat Dallas this year? Yeah, I got us beating y'all. I do have us beating y'all. Right now, Tyron Smith is out. You guys are down bad right now. You don't have a lot of receivers. You got Gallup. You're waiting on Gallup to get back. So there's a lot of injuries. Even aside that, I had us beating y'all at least once this year too. I got a splitting against y'all. I have a splitting against the Eagles, and I have a splitting against the I have a sweeping the Giants, splitting with the Eagles, and then splitting with the Cowboys as well. So, but all right, moving on to the tight end position. What was you guys' thoughts on the tight ends? They kept 5 tight ends. One of the tight ends right now, Curtis Hodges. They moved him to injury reserve. Was there any surprises that you guys thought about the guys on the roster? How do you guys feel about the tight end room? Warpath, I'll let you go first. So obviously it's Logan Thomas, Cole Turner, John Bates, and Amari Rodgers.
Yeah, I think Rodgers did a good job in the preseason, so I think it's well deserved. To me, it looks like they're rushing Logan Thomas back, right? Because he's out there. He's got a brace as big as I am.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Kevin McCarty, my fault. I forgot to say. Yeah, he had a donation. He just said that my question get ignored. I'll pay $5 for your thoughts on Cole Holcomb. Yeah, Warpath, you can go. Yeah, you can talk about Cole Holcomb first.
Oh, too. Cole Holcomb is the most overrated player. Is probably the most overrated linebacker that we have. And he didn't look any better at middle linebacker. He's he can be good if he's on the outside, right? But he is, oh my gosh, he looked afraid. I remember rewatching the Carolina game, and all he's doing is he's running into the back of linemen. I'm like, you've got the right of way, dude. This is like you had to stop, like you the first person at a stop sign at a 4-way stop. You go. Everybody else is waiting for you. What you waiting for? You can see everything. But he's just sitting there. He hesitates. I mean, he doesn't have that instinct, man. Maybe he's got the instinct to read, and it's with the whole defense too. They're more like they're waiting. They're not attacking. They're waiting to react and then diagnose and then do what to do. But guess what? The guy done ran past you already in all the situation. They just look confused and disorganized, and that's what's leading to these third down. Like it's 2nd down and 13, right? Because they played good on 1st down. Oh, well, they pick up 9. They pick up 9, or they pick up 11 on 2nd down, making it 3rd and manageable. We've seen that a lot. So yeah, I mean, I think Cole for me, like in the words of Randy Jackson, it's a no for me, bro. I mean, I think he's probably one of the better linebackers on this team, but that ain't saying much, man. That's like saying you go in a room full of crooks, and it's like, well, he's the less dishonest of all of them. You still gonna get fleeced. Come on, man.
Yeah.
How about you, Brandon?
Same here. You know what I really get tired of is why do we keep trying to like Frankenstein new positions or put people in unnatural positions? I mean, that's part of the problem right there. You know, Jamin Davis had no business playing middle linebacker last year. No business. And you know, he didn't play in college. So why would you bring a rookie in and try to teach him a whole new position? Just go ahead and get a guy. You know, same thing with Holcomb. You know, I don't see it succeeding. I mean, Cole Holcomb, I think he plays well on the outside. So I mean, I'm very worried about them trying to play Holcomb at the middle linebacker position. I'm scared to death of Jon Bostic because we need a middle linebacker. I mean, that's the number one need, in my opinion, that we need right now. And it's really borderline, and it's and that should have been priority going in the offseason. You know, I mean, you know, when we looked at the draft, Nakobe Dean out of Georgia, that's who I wanted us to get. I wanted Dean out of Georgia. And he went to Philly, you know, but you know, I was waiting for us to pick up a linebacker, and it just never happened. And of course, you know, we waited to the last minute to pick up Jon Bostic. So yes, it's going to be a long season if this is the core group going forward. It's going to be a long season. So
definitely, yeah. I do like Cole. I think he's been solid, you know, for being a 5th round pick. I think he's excelled. I mean, like you said, they put Jamin in the wrong spot. They put a lot of guys in the wrong spot. Even on offense, they haven't used Antonio Gibson correctly the way he's supposed to be used. So it's just a lot of coaching evaluation. You would think linebackers, Jack Del Rio, Ron Rivera being linebackers, you know, they would get it right and get guys in the right spot. but it hasn't been that way. But I do like Cole. I think Cole's a solid tackler. I think he's solid in coverage at times. He's trying out this middle linebacker position. You know, he got beat by Travis Kelce, which happens, but he was leaving guys wide open. You know, we know it's Pat Mahomes, but it's too many excuses. You know, so we'll see. They're gonna put him to the test. I guess they're gonna start Jon Bostic. He's gonna start a middle linebacker. Then they're gonna put Cole on the outside and Jamin on the outside. So now Cole doesn't have to play Mike. So like you said, Kevin, I don't see him playing Mike. It's going to be Bostic. It's going to be the same defense from last year. It's going to be the same guys. They want to run it back. That's what they wanted to do. Unless they pick up some other corners, I don't see much of a difference. It's the same defense from last year, and the defense last year was bad. So you would think they would try to make some upgrades, but they did not. GD, thank you for the donation. He says the Cowboys and Eagles will fight for the division. The Commanders and Giants still need work. Brandon, what do you think? Who do you have? How do you see it finishing in the NFC East between of course the Giants and the Cowboys, Commanders, and Eagles?
It changed. I mean, I did have a second. I thought it was a toss up because Philly does look good on paper, but I mean, the last time they claimed they had a super team, they didn't do well. When they had Nnamdi Asomugha at corner. So,
the dream team.
You don't know what you're going to see from Jalen Hurts. Did he make that step to really, become a passer as opposed to just a runner? It's a toss-up. But as far as I saw us going anywhere from winning the division to being third. And the reason for that is that I look at Wentz and Wentz has a chip on the shoulder. Week 1, you got Jacksonville, and you saw how much heat he got for the Jacksonville game last year in Indianapolis. He's got Indianapolis on the road. He's got Philly on the road on Monday night. So, it's like the NFL on purpose put this schedule for that chip on his shoulder because he's got a lot to prove because, look, this is his last stop. Wentz doesn't work here, he's going to be a backup. And that's just what it is. So it changed. Right now, man, and I hate to say this, but we could finish third because of the defense. This offense is nice, but with this defense, it's going to be a shootout. And are you really willing to give Carson Wentz the ball in the shootout? Because we know what he's not good at, decision making. He's got to be able, with his defense, he's got to be able to get the ball out quicker. He tends to hold on the ball way too long. So really with this defense, it's more pressure on Carson Wentz because his offense has to shine. We got to outscore people. And so, I mean, honestly, and like I said, I hate to say it, man, but I got us finishing third. We could flip-flop second place, but I just don't see us winning the division with this defense.
Yeah. No, you're being honest. You're not being a Russian judge like some other people we know, but you're being honest. I mean, the defense is underwhelming. It is underwhelming. They just don't have a lot of depth. We may have to put up some points to win. We're not going to be winning games like Alex Smith, 17-14. We're going to put up some points this year, probably 25. And that's just the way the NFL is right now. Carson, we're going to have a strong running game to help him out for sure. But I love the receiving core that should help out too. So we just got to win. We got to win the layups. I'm not going to call them layups, but we got to take advantage of the games against Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ridder, Daniel Jones. You gotta take care of the ones that you're supposed to take care of. That's what you got to do. If they can do that, then I see 9. I have them going 9-8. I can see anywhere between 2 and 3. The Eagles are a dream team on paper. I do have them finishing first right now. But of course, Jalen Hurts, you just don't know. He's a question mark. How about you, Warpath?
I mean, to kind of push back on my boy Brandon, what makes you think that we can't finish fourth in this division, right? I mean, let's be real. Let's be honest, fam.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, Warpath. I wouldn't go that far.
No,
the Giants,
no, Ed, hold on.
I would not go that far. I would not go that far.
You don't have to go that far, but nothing's out of the realm of possibility. I don't think we're going to finish last, but I think the Giants, see, this is what I look at it. I think people are too low on the Giants and they're too high on the Eagles. Yeah. And I think those two teams are going to come up. I think the Giants have a schematic that could look very similar to what Detroit did last year. Like you're going to feel when you play them. Like I just think I think with Dayball, I think they're going to try to build that Buffalo Bill mentality, right? With McDermott's build and a physical team. I think he's trying to build that there. That's why he brought in like people like Tyrod Taylor and thing, trying to change over that guard. But to the point, right? I still think this is a team that can win, like you said, Ed, 8-9 games, but you're starting to look and say, where is it going to do? If this defense is the same way, you're going to need some help. Like, you just can't sit here and give up 70% on third down and only convert 30% on third down. You can't do that because that's a recipe for disaster. And where are you going to make those wins? We just finally beat the Giants for the first time in what? How many years, fellas? Since 2018? Is that right? Hello? Come on now. Look, I ain't a Baptist preacher now, but I'm looking for an amen because that's straight facts. And you know, Danny Jones took us to the wire again the first time, and then we had Jake from State Farm. So, I mean, there's possibilities, y'all. It really is. But I don't know, man. It's just, I want to say this is a 9 to 10 win team, but the moves are very reminiscent of a 5 to 6 win team. And it just seems like it's the same thing over and over again. We cannot get out of our own way. We can't, like, and to your point earlier, Ed, Ron is afraid to swing the bat. It's like my friend's daughter in softball. I never forget. Emma would always keep the bat on the back of her, and she just sit there and like, Emma, you're gonna strike out. That's part of the game. But you gotta make it, you gotta challenge the pitcher. We're not challenging any damn body. That's the problem. We're not challenging nobody. We got our fingers stuck up our butts. That's all we're doing. We that little snotty-nosed kid up at the playground right now that nobody's trying to talk to. That's got snot and they're eating the cookies all in the same time. That's what we look like right now.
Yeah, I can't say the Giants. I think I got the Giants. I don't even think the Giants even want to win this year. I think they want to tank because Daniel Jones is not his guy. They didn't pick up the 5th-year option. I think they want to move on from him. Like you said, they brought on Tyrod Taylor. I think they're looking at the draft. Now, they could be competitive. I could see that. They could be a tough, like you said, a tough 3-14 or 4-13 team where they lose a lot of close games. That's what I see with the Giants right now. I think 6-11 is fair for the Giants. I can see the Eagles going 9-8, 10-7. It just depends on how Jalen Hurts plays. Because they got an easy schedule like we do. Just the whole division. I'm not going to call it easy, but they play the Jags. They play the Texans and all the AFC South teams. The Cowboys right now, they're down right now. They got they're banged up. Tyron Smith is a big loss. They got to put that rookie out there, Tyler Smith, I think a left tackle, to replace Tyron Smith. That's a big loss there for them. Michael Gallup not being there, that's a big loss for them. They got a lot of injuries out there. And their defense was based on forcing turnovers. So can they create turnovers like they did last year? So that's a big question mark. Can he convert without, having Amari Cooper or other receivers like that? So it's going to be a test year for Dak. And you don't want to get Red hyped up because he said he was agreeing with you with that first point you made, Warpath, about the Giants. So we don't want to get him too excited.
Red, Red ain't got nothing else better to do. He ain't got nothing better to do. He probably sitting at home eating a damn bread sandwich with in ice water and stuff. But that's all he doing.
Right. So, yeah, I got us going 9-8. We just got to take care of the games. Of course, there's going to be some games where we upset people. There may be a game where we lose one where, we thought we were going to win. So we do that every single year. So, but we'll do the first 4 games, the prediction of that. Offensive line. We'll touch on offensive line real quick, too, because I think it's a position group that's ignored a little bit. So what were you guys' thoughts on the offensive line? I'll bring up the roster here real quick. Lano Rouye, Sam Cosme, Cornelius Lucas, Andrew Norwell, Trey Turner, Wes Schweitzer, Sadiq Charles, and Chris Paul. What's you guys' confidence level in the offensive line this year? How are you guys feeling about it? And Brandon, I'll let you go first.
I'm actually pretty confident on offensive line. I think Cosme did well last season. Lano too, being let go by Chicago and coming right in, getting an extension. Rouye's back. I like what I see. I think Trey Turner's going to do decent. I wasn't a big fan of all these, Panthers signings, but Trey Turner's he's a good guard. So I'm pretty confident. I think that, I don't think Wentz is going to have to run for his life, but I think it's a pretty solid core group. So.
Yeah, it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, John Masco is a heck of an offensive line coach, so I think they should be fine. Trey Turner's been banged up. Andrew Norwell, they've been both of these guys, the Commanders have been out of the lineup, so we need them to get healthy for sure. Chase Rouillet's just coming back from injury. Schweitzer coming back from injury. So health is a huge thing. Chris Paul has been okay. And then Cornelius Lucas, he's a good backup swing tackle. How about you, Warpath?
Yeah, I don't really have any concerns about this offensive line. I think the only really problem I have is how Trey Turner going to be the starting right guard, and he hadn't even taken a snap all preseason, right? I think Wes Schweitzer is probably done more in that spot than he has. And I think Carson Wentz was going out there with with only 2/3 of an offensive line, his starters out there, and he was kept clean for the most part. So I'm not really worried about it. And like whatever Matsko and Travell Wharton touch, it seems like it works efficiently. It is the only thing that I really have faith in on this team that I can say, like, I don't have to worry about is the offensive line, because no matter what they put or who they put in a spot, the guys go out there and perform. It might be a little bit of a drop off, but I think the boys are actually the O-line, the big uglies, they'd be all right.
Definitely. So we're going to do some over-unders real quick, and then we'll do our prediction on the first 4 games of the season, and then we'll wrap up. And then you get this episode also, this live, brought to you by Prize Picks. You can use my promo code RealEdOliver. It's a betting app. They give you a $100 price match. So they do a lot of over-under. So like Jahan Dotson right now, his over-under 600 yards. I'll give you guys that pick. I would take the over on that one. So if you type in my promo code, they give you a $100 price match. Just type in Real Ed Oliver. So we're going to start off with the over-unders here. So we'll start with Diony Brown. This one's not on Prize Picks. I just created this one myself, Diony Brown. So I see you guys laughing. I see Brandon laughing already when I mentioned Diony Brown. I know a lot of people are down on Diony Brown. And I asked you guys this question too. Where do you see him on the depth chart? Is he above Cam Sims? Where is he at on you guys' depth chart? Also, we didn't talk about the wide receiver core, other, the bottom half of the guys like Alex Erickson. He's on the practice squad, and Dax Mill, guys like that. But we'll go over under for 100 yards. Kenny Man DMV is on the chat, man. What's up, man? If you want to hop in, you can, Kenny, for the last part. But I know you're probably out and about doing your thing. Probably playing basketball against the girls at Catholic University
again.
or something.
Did he get crossed up again?
All right, so over under 150 yards on the season for Diony Brown. I think he had like 100 yards receiving last year. So Brandon, I'll let you go first.
I'm gonna say over, but not by much. He will get playing time, but I mean, you can't get over what he did in the preseason. You dropping wide open touchdowns. I mean, come on, man. It's like a FedEx driver, not delivering packages. That is your job, man. So I think that he might have played his way out of DC. I don't, because think about it. This was his year to make that leap. And now you can't even catch the ball in preseason. So, definitely to me, Cam Sims is ahead of him in the depth chart. So I will go over, but not by much.
Okay. All right. Now, what were your thoughts about Dax Mill making a roster, Alex Erickson on the practice squad?
I like Dax Mill, man. Good special teams guy. I like both of them. Both, they both did well in special teams. Both had that dog in them. I mean, I'm a big fan of both of them.
Definitely, yeah. So, okay, you got over. Okay, how about you, Warpath?
Lord, for all things good and holy, I hope it's over. Like, we talking about a 3rd round pick that people are calling a bust now. It better be over. Ed, you should have set this at like 300 or 400 yards. Because, oh my good Lord.
A lot of people in the chat are saying,
exactly. Like, I hope he can get Lord. Like, really?
That's what the bar is at right now, unfortunately.
Woo, the bar is
real low. It's real low, man.
We had like one of them little people bars, ain't we? Like, you gotta be 3 feet to get to the bar. God dog, man.
Yeah, the bar is real low. But the only thing is he gets open, man. He gets open. He got open a couple of times. He just can't finish. It's like playing basketball. $100 move, but a 10-cent finish.
I had an ex-girlfriend that got open all the time. I ain't with her no more either. Just saying.
Oh man. All right, so but we'll move on to cruising. He's a Giants fan, got that ugly Giants helmet on. Thank you for the donation, though. He said, "Here's $5. Washington fans are notorious for being cheap and dusty. By the way, Warpath is right about Daniel Jones. He plays great against us." Well, the thing is, we're not that cheap because we do got a FedEx Field, which is one of the worst stadiums in the world. And Warpath was telling a story before the stream that Brandon was about to buy. Were you about to buy, Brandon? Something for like $30.
$21 cheeseburger, man.
Yeah. A $21 cheeseburger from Johnny Rockets, man.
Yeah, I say, I almost got it. He almost charged me for assault. I almost slapped a grown man up in there. I was about to Will Smith him up in there. I said, keep your money in your pocket, bro.
Yeah, the tenders and fries at FedEx, like $14. And the most expensive beer is at FedEx.
$14.
Yeah, $14. So yeah, we're not the cheapest people out there. I'm telling you. Yeah, Washington fans, we spend a pretty penny to go to these games. I'm telling you. Daniel Jones, Danny Fumbles, he has played well against the Washington team. Now the first game, if we want to break it down, the first game, rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins played. He didn't play too well in the second half. Case Keenum played. He didn't play too well either. So he's played against some bad quarterbacks. Then we had the Chase Young Bowl where honestly, if what was the old head coach's name? Bill Callahan. He should have went for 2. If he would have went for 2, I think we would have won that game. But I think at that time they were thinking about getting Chase Young. It was the Chase Young Bowl, so they wanted to get that one. The other games, we did just beat Daniel Jones for the first time. We beat him with Taylor Heineke, beat him head to head. So you let an undrafted quarterback beat your first round pick, and his option didn't get picked up. So Daniel Jones, he's not going to be a starting quarterback next year. I think you guys know that too. And I think that would be for the better for you guys. But I hope they keep Daniel Jones, the guy that can't even run in a straight line without tripping over his feet. So, but I thank you for the donation for sure. Christian Soto.
That's a good one.
He said, "I heard HB Blades is about to sign." So yeah, we're gonna get Reuben Foster. We're gonna get Mason Foster. We're gonna get all the old linebackers in here, man. We're gonna get all the guys out here. So Brian Harden also says Dak might be in like Jimmy G not playing this year. Yeah, he did take that L against Jimmy G. So now we're gonna transition to Antonio Gibson. He is gonna get more carries now. So over under 4 fumbles.
I'll go ahead, man. I'm gonna say
What?
under. I'm gonna say under, because look, he knows he's playing for his job now. Look, I don't care what he has to do. He like Warpath said, he needs to walk around with that thing all day, every day. Look, last year, week 1. We had that game against the Chargers, man. And then what did AG do? Fumbled the ball. And then first thing he did this preseason was fumble the ball, and it led right to a score. So, look, he's playing for his job. So I'm going to go under, because I think eventually, I'm hoping it's under. How's that? But I'm going to go under because, like I said, he's fighting for his job, man. This is his time to solidify himself at the run of that position because, unfortunately, Brian Robinson's out. This is his time, man. So I'm going to go under because I think that, he knows that he's playing for his job. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Chris Daly said over. Trey Turner said over. Mclaurin said over. Splitzer said he can get 4 1/4 if he tries.
It's cold-blooded.
Oh, man.
Jory Elliott says under. So, yeah, he's with you, Brandon, on the under. How about you, Warpath?
Curtis Mayfield, what was that song he did called Pusher Man? I'm going to give a push right there. I'm your pusher man. Like, I think 4 is right. And we're just talking about straight up fumbles, not fumbles lost, right? Like, we just like.
Just go fumbles.
Yeah, okay. Just how many times you put the turkey on the plate. That's what I go. I go with a push. I think he'd be right at 4.
Right at 4. Okay. All right. So it's like Friday Night Lights, where the son was fumbling, the dad kept wrapping his arms up with tape. It's just like that. He's got to hang on. He's got to hang on to the football. But Gibson is super talented, man. He's super talented, man. I do hope B-Rob can come back sometime, or even just next year. Where if Gibson's here next year, if Gibson, so Gibson can go to his natural position, just being a weapon, like Cordarrelle Patterson or Ty Montgomery, guys like that. This one, Curtis Samuel, 10 games played. Brandon, I'll let you go first again.
Woo! All right. Man,
I can't stay in right there. He
Right?
set us up bad. He set us
I'm
up
gonna go
bad.
over, man. Over. I think that Curtis Samuel, same thing. I mean, look, he knows he's got to play that contract. He knows his job because he doesn't perform this season. He's gone. I mean, this is going to be a showing out party for a lot of people in this team. So I think it's going to be over.
All right. Yeah, I like it. I'm knocking on wood. How about you, Warpath? Well, you got that face, man.
We talk about Paul Richardson Jr. over here. Paul Richardson III. He gonna play 10. He got 10 fingers. That's all I know. But yeah, that'd be bad if you were Jason Pierre-Paul. But I would go with a push again. Man. I can't get hip to this. I just feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. I really am. I'm like,
you gotta give us one. You gotta give us one.
Oh, like he talking like Brandon. Brandon is like one of the most confident fans we got, and he's like, I'm hoping it's over. I'm like, dude, that ain't getting me hyped up. See the gas is going over. Give me a push again, man. I push, pass interference. That's what I'm doing. Push it.
Okay. Well, this one you got to pick one or the other on this one. All right. Robert Dredden says, "Remember the star on the Cowboys helmet is a rating, not a logo." There you go. They don't get one more win in the playoffs. They're stuck at one win. I mean, we can't say much either, but they don't get more than one win in the playoffs. Whether it's Jimmy G, whoever quarterback they play against, they're always going to lose in the playoffs. We already know this. They're not going to get past the second round. We already know that. The next one, we'll go with a more, I guess, positive light here. Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin, 6 touchdowns. And this one is on Prize Picks. You can use the link down below for the promo code. You just use that link down below. It will take you to the app. You sign up. You use the promo code RealEdOliver. Brandon, I'll let you go first.
Over. Easy.
Okay.
I mean, Terry's that dude, man. Look, he got the money. Now it's time to be that number one. And, look, I'm going to get on Dawson later, but, yeah, definitely over. Because, I mean, look, matter of fact, I just saw a list. I think it was the top 15 wide receivers. They had a couple dudes on there hit at Terry. I mean, he is so disrespected right now. I mean, there's no respect right now for Terry McLaurin. I don't get it. I mean, look at the quarterbacks this guy has played with, and he's still putting up really good stats. So, I mean, last year, Taylor Heineke couldn't throw the ball 10, 15 yards, but this dude broke 1,000 yards receiving. So, look, if you can break 1,000 yards with Taylor Heineke at quarterback, say what you want about Wentz, he's got an arm. If he can get this straightened out, with that arm, the sky's the limit. So I'm saying over.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah. I mean, this is the best quarterback that he's played with in his career in Carson Wentz. A guy that has an arm that, like you said, is going to be able to stretch the field. So those are the things I'm optimistic with on Carson Wentz. I'm gonna take the over too. Now Terry, I got to look up how many touchdowns he got last year. He didn't get in the end zone a lot last year. I got to look this up.
I think he had 6. It's either 5 or 6 he had last year.
He had 6. Okay, so that's a solid amount there. How about you, Warpath?
I can't do a push this time.
Yeah, he had 5 touchdowns last year. 2020, he had 4.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he hasn't really gotten his rookie season. He got 7. He racked up 2 on the Eagles. So he racked up 2 on the Eagles pretty easily. He kept getting us in the red zone. That's the thing. We just couldn't finish get him the ball in the end zone.
And push would make more sense here. No, but I'm going over, man. I'm going over. It's scary. I mean, we live in a world where NFL players think that Hot Tub Beckham, who want to play 5 games, was better than him. Cordarrelle Patterson, who was the only option really for Matt Stafford next to Kyle Pitts, is better than him. And old boy who was running the ball, what's the running back down there in Arizona? I can't think of his name. Oh gosh, he was in Pittsburgh the previous
Oh,
year.
James Conner.
Yeah, they think Connor's better than him, better player. So yeah, the man. I'm tired of this man getting disrespect. I'm marching on the NFL office in Park Avenue. We going to Park Avenue if it don't happen this year. We all going up to New York and we're gonna march and we're gonna have a sit-in right there. We shall overcome, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We shall overcome. Terry shall overcome.
All right, good. All right, we got our first real answer from Warpath. All right. Shout out, Christian Soto. He says Cowboy. Thank you for the donation. He says Cowboys have no backup quarterback. Did they release Cooper Rush? I'm not sure. It could be Cooper Rush.
I think they did.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
they let go of Ben DiNucci.
Yeah,
DiNucci, who was terrible, who was awful. They might have to bring back Andy Dalton, to be honest. And Jon Bostic plays well against Andy Dalton. So Andy Dalton don't want that smoke against Bostic. But yeah, go. What were you about to say?
Did y'all hear what Jerry Jones said on First Take the other day?
Nah, I saw him going back and forth with Stephen A.
Oh man, you got to. Oh gosh, you got to see that. That is one of the best moments from Jerry Jones I've ever. Oh, I think I found it. Here you go.
I have had it handed to me in a lot of different ways, but I went back to work, got up on Monday morning, there it was. Glory hole.
That's Jerry for you, boy.
Oh,
they're ready. Yeah, they're ready. They're ready this year.
Yeah, that was X-rated right there. So Jerry, yeah. But we know how Jerry get down, though. We know how Jerry get down. We seen them elevator pictures. We seen them with Jerry Jones.
He's on that boat with Dan Snyder. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah. They got a cheerleader scandal too. So yeah, we know how Jerry Jones get down for sure. But yeah, let's get back to football. So over under. Oh, then of course, if you guys don't know, I think somebody brought up Troy Trapke in the comments. Yeah, Troy Apke is on the practice squad. If you guys didn't know that, just letting you guys know that nugget too. Jared Patterson is on the practice squad. Danny Johnson's on the practice squad. Like Warpath said too, everybody that was released, they got brought back. Like last year, AGG got released, we brought them right back. It is somewhat telling, like you said, with the depth of the team, that nobody wants your guys. Nobody's really looking for your guys. They saw the tape. They saw the tape on Danny Johnson. Nobody's gonna pick up Danny Johnson after that. Nobody's gonna pick up Cornell. There actually wasn't that bad. He didn't get beat. I guess he was the best out of the worst guys. But yeah, basically everybody else came back. Everybody else came back. So all right, next one is Chase Young over under 5 sacks. Hopefully he can come back week 5 against the Titans. His rookie year he had 7.5 sacks. This past year he had 1.5 sacks. Didn't play a full season. Not going to play a full season again this year. But over under on 5 sacks. And we'll start with you, Brandon.
I'm gonna go under. You don't know what to expect from Chase right now. That injury. ACL injury is not like it used to be. People are able to bounce back and still play at a high level. But for right now, I'm gonna go under. We don't know what to expect from. Last year, it was supposed to be a showing out party for Chase, and they were talking him and Sweat, somebody gonna set records, and then So, but as much as it hurts, I'm gonna say under.
Yeah, I know it's tough. You know what? I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna be optimistic on Chase. I think he's gonna have a bounce back year, like you said. They talked about the sack ratio last year, but I think Chase is more focused. He did work out with Von Miller, so I'm gonna boost his stock on that too. Learn some more pass rushing moves. The Sam Mills firing, I don't know if it's really gonna affect that at all. To be honest, I would have loved to see them bring in Warren Sapp or somebody like that. But I'm gonna go and just the quarterbacks too. We did play against some really good quarterbacks last year. I think Justin Fields is a guy, if he comes back by then, I think he should get to him. Dak, I think he should get at Dak too, and a couple guys. So I think he's going to come back motivated this year. And he's going to come back in shape too. You look at what Nick Bosa did coming back from the ACL injury. I think Chase Young is maturing, and I think, we didn't see him, nothing wrong with getting his money in his commercials, Family Feud or anything like that. But I think we see a guy that's really focused on football this year and really owning and locking in on his craft. So I'm gonna take over on 5. If he comes back against the Titans, then I'm definitely gonna take the over on 5 sacks. How about you, Warpath?
Push again. Push, man. I'm pushing today.
On,
I can't. I think he can line right up there at 5, and I think the good thing is that hopefully when he's healthy, he can come out here and dominate. But I haven't seen him develop any moves yet. That's the key thing. And you gonna tell a guy who's recovering from an ACL injury and he hasn't developed any moves like that? To me, that's kind of like those two don't mix. So I'm either gonna say, just for the sake of the argument, because y'all gonna cuss me out about it, I'm just gonna say under. I think he'd be like right at 4 then.
I can see that too. Now you finally made a decision. You made a decision on the other one too with Terry, but I'll give you credit for this one too. So,
right. All right, why you doing me like that, bro? I don't know why y'all doing me like that.
All right, who do you have seeing as a coach, as a coordinator? Who do you have more faith in, or who do you see having more success as a coordinator this year? Jack Del Rio or Scott Turner? And who's more on a hot seat this year coming up? And Brandon, I'll let you go first.
Ooh, I already know. Look, Jack Del Rio need to go, man. He needs to go. He should have left last year. So the fact that he's still on the team is baffling to me. I mean, because last year, anyway, Scott Turner, I can see him really get into the game as an offensive coordinator. One thing I want to see less of is those screens, man. Last season, he loved those screens. Focus on running the ball. You guys brought up the 4-game winning streak last season. We went on that streak because we ran the ball. We were effective running the ball, and that's football 101. You got to run the ball, control the clock. We don't control that fourth quarter against Tampa Bay if we don't run that ball, and that's what we did. So, yeah, Scott Turner to me is going to be the coordinator that has a pretty decent year, and Jack Del Rio,
yeah, I'm with you on Jack. I think Scott, getting that extension was very surprising to me. I didn't think he did. I know the excuse for him is that he hasn't had a quarterback yet, which is true. It's been a quarterback carousel. Alex Smith, rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins, Garrett Gilbert, Fitzpatrick for a half. I'm probably forgetting some guys, Heineke as well. I don't think Montez played any snaps or anything like that, but I just feel like so many guys have been a quarterback under Scott Turner. So there's some, I hate to make it excuse. I just, like you said, I think he gets a little too cute. Every time it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, I know he's going to do something backwards. He's always not aggressive. He's very vanilla. He's very finesse, to put it nicely. I was calling him soft last year, but he's very finesse. He doesn't like to punch people in the mouth on 3rd and 4th and 1. He likes to go behind the sticks, a screen pass or an end around. He always does end arounds at the wrong time. We get pushed back out of field goal range. How about you, Warpath?
Push. Jack Del Rio off a cliff. I finished my sentence there, right? No, I saying who do I have more confidence in is like, where do I want to get, what do I want to do? Do I want to go to the dentist to get my teeth cleaned or get a tooth pulled out? Or, so nobody likes going to the dentist, but you got to do it. So Scott, Ed, you kind of stole my fire there. He gets too cute. I think on Monday Night Football last year, I think he got too cute because he was on the national stage. They went away from their bread and butter, and which is running the football. And what got them there, it got him on that 4-game winning streak. I think that he just thought he needed to pass, but in Washington, it gets colder when this season called winter comes through. And the ball and the physics and stuff, it makes the ball bigger and harder to throw, but we want to throw with a JV arm quarterback. Shout out to my boy Armand Brown. But I trust Scott to get more out of him, but his situational play calling is still a question for me. That's the key thing. I don't think he's a bad coordinator. I think situationally he gets himself in bad situations from a schematic standpoint. Like we're going for it. I remember our first touchdown of the preseason. Out of the gun at the 1, it was the inside handoff to Brian Robinson. Mm-hmm. Just line somebody, get a tight end up there, run I formation, and just do it. Just do it easy. Make it safe. Don't give that open space for some linebacker or some lineman to break that open. Like that's a situation there. But as far as Jack goes, I'll defend the man on what he said and what you can say and all this stuff, but he's got to go. His mouth, he has written a check that he cannot cash. Like, this team needs to be the 2000 Ravens to 85 Bears for me to even consider him to be back. It ain't gonna happen. So bye, Jack.
Yeah, too many dust ups on defense. But one thing I will say, I see some crazy Cowboy banter in the chat. So the Eagles got more back from Jalen Reagor in a trade than what you guys got for Amari Cooper. That's how bad your general manager, which is basically Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. You guys had one of the worst off seasons in the NFC. So I definitely got us beating the Cowboys whenever. I think we play in week 4, so we're going to transition to the first 4 games of the season here, and then we'll wrap it up here. So we play the Jacksonville Jaguars. We already went through but I just want to see where you guys think where your head's at after the preseason. We'll go with the Jags. What do you guys think that's a win or loss?
It's gonna be a win. It's gonna be a close win. I think it's gonna be a game that's gonna wake this team up. I mean, Jacksonville's got a lot of talent. I mean, this could go either way, to be honest with you. You know, as much as I love my team, you know, look, Jacksonville is a young and hungry team. You know, Trevor Lawrence is trying to show the league what he's capable of. So I have it as a win. It's gonna be within 7 or less points, in my opinion.
You guys win by 7. Okay. All right. Who's your X factor in that game?
X factor. Man, that's a good question. Carson Wentz. Does he step up? Look, everybody talking about Jacksonville. This is his time. Look, week 1, he's got to show what he can do. You know, can he beat that team? The spotlight is on Carson. You know, so that is the X factor to me. If he can keep his head out of the game, as far as, you know, hold on to the ball and trying to make these crazy plays, then, you know, I think we can do well. So.
Definitely, yeah. Especially after the last game he played, he lost to Jacksonville, so he's got a huge chip on his shoulder. How about you, Warpath? You had an evil smirk on your face.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be a win. I think it'd be ugly. I think I just, if we're gonna win this game, and you know, knock on wood now, Jacksonville has never won at FedEx Field. So that's a key point that you know we can keep on our back pocket. But also, there's more added motivation for the X Factor, Carson Wentz. Dougie P is on the other side of that field. Come on now. You don't think he wants to make that man eat what he did to him back in 2020? The man had a statue in Philadelphia, won his Super Bowl ring that he should have won with Nick Foles. That's what's going to happen, man. I think Carson going to eat. Carson will eat. And he's tired of hearing all this background about he's not this guy, he's not that guy. That's why they're going to win. That's why they're going to win.
All right. So we'll just group the last 3 games here, and then we'll wrap it up. So the Lions, who have been on Hard Knocks, you know, we seen the motivational speech. You know, where the one guy was emotional, crying about losing so many games last year. Lions, then the Eagles and the Cowboys. Brandon, what are your thoughts on those 3 games?
I have us beating Detroit. I have us beating the Eagles at home because I agree with you. We're going to split with the Cowboys and we're going to split with the Eagles. The reason for that, you know, they got to go to Philly on Monday night. So they ain't, that's a tough one, man. You know, Philadelphia Monday night for Wentz is going to be a man. Look, now I have them beating Detroit and I have them beating Philly, but we're going to take an L against the Cowboys. I got us beating them at home at FedEx, but at Dallas I have us losing. So,
yeah, I'm basically on the same with you. I think I got to split with the Cowboys, split with the Eagles. That last game where, you know, they're going to be retiring Sonny Jurgensen's jersey. I think we win that game. It's going to be like a playoff clinching game. How about you, Warpath?
I think Detroit gets us again. That place is a house of horrors for us at Ford Field, found on road dead field. But I think they bounce back against Philadelphia. Like I said, I think people are very high on the Eagles. Oh shit!
Yeah,
Just right
the
there.
jokes.
Shout out Armand, Reverend Armand up there. And then I think that unfortunately the Jerry Glory guys will get us down there at Jerry's Playhouse. So it is what it is. So I think 2-2 is very acceptable. I think that's what's going to happen for this team starting the season.
2-2. Okay. Yeah, I got us going 3-1. I'm pretty optimistic on it. Even though we're banged up, we don't have a lot of depth on the defensive side. And the third down defense is concerning. So, I don't see them picking up anybody else, to be honest. Maybe one more linebacker, maybe one more corner, but it's going to be like a low-key guy that nobody's ever heard of. That's just the way that Ron Rivera does things. And then, Chase Young not being in the first 4 weeks. It's going to be tough. Like I said, I'm not going to sleep on the Jags or the Lions. They got some talent. Goff is not the worst quarterback in the world. Eddie is a good running back for the Jaguars. Brandon, like you brought up DeAndre Swift. Now, the best thing is that Jamison Williams won't be there, because if he was there, then I think he would give the Lions a way better chance to win that game, just because of how fast he is, and where against our corners too would be concerning a little bit. But yeah, I got us going 3-1. So before we wrap up, you guys got anything that you want to promote? YouTube channels, Twitter, anything like that?
I got a question for everybody. The fight song. What's everybody think about the fight song?
Jesus Christ. Jesus.
That's a good question. I mean, I haven't even looked at the lyrics. Somebody asked me about the lyrics. I couldn't even remember what the lyrics were. I mean, I'll probably still sing like the old words, to be honest with you. But yeah, I haven't paid too much attention to the mascot too. I know they're revealing the mascot towards the end of the year too.
To me, it seemed like an Earth, Wind, and Fire joint, man. It's too slow. It's way too slow.
How about you, Warpath?
That song is garbage. That song is absolute trash. How you gonna have a song? Hail to the Commanders. Hail victory. Fight for our Commanders. They don't even rhyme. I ain't no lyrical master, but like Commanders don't rhyme with Commanders, y'all. Like what is it? And then it's like Sons of Washington, right? Fight on till you have won, Sons of Washington. Now they're like they said all of Washington. Wait, why'd you take that out? The Sons of Washington is the damn team. Why did y'all take that out of there? And fight, you fighting all of Washington? Are you fighting all of Washington? Tell you won all of Washington? Just say fight for all of Washington. That's all. Like the lyrics are so messed up. I like Leaders on a Mission, as you could tell. I didn't like it, but I selected that. The Hail to the Commanders, that song, it's like they had their sister up there singing that song like, Hail to our Commanders. Then they got a 30-piece band out there. What kind of garbage is this? Stop pandering, y'all. Stop pandering to it. Just let it die. Let it move on. I'm saying hail to the Redskins because that's the only thing I can get on there and do it. That's garbage. That is garbage, man.
Definitely. Yeah. Paul Mancini, I've seen him in the chat. He's been saying don't sleep on the Lions this whole time. I didn't get to watch Hard Knocks. I have seen some of the moves. Ross St. Brown he's a good receiver. He had a good rookie season last year. So I won't sleep on him. DJ Chark, he's a good pickup. I wanted the Commanders to take a look at him in the offseason. He had a 1,000-yard season. He was hurt last year. TJ Hawkinson's good too. So I mean, yeah, I wouldn't sleep on the Lions. I'm not going to sleep on the Lions, but that's a game that the Commanders are favored in. Vegas is not the end all be all, but that's a game they have to. Coming out the gate, you got to take care of those games. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys for coming on, man. Like I said, make sure you guys check out Locked On Wizards. Me and Brandon are going to be co-hosting. Somebody asked about Donovan Mitchell too. I personally don't think it's going to happen. I wouldn't mind seeing it happen though. I think the Wizards, they just need to make a splash, man. They need to make a splash. Porzingis is good. Bill is good too, but they need more. They need more if they want to be competitive in the Eastern Conference for sure. So, but yeah, make sure you guys follow them and subscribe to these guys on YouTube. They both do Commanders content. I'll put their Instagrams down below too. If you guys want to be a follower on Instagram, I don't know if you guys want that or not. Warpath he's a good follow too.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know. They're both good follows on Twitter too. So make sure you guys check them out. But thank you guys. Hail to the Commanders. Peace.